up, what up, everybody? How y'all doing, man? Go and check the audio real quick, see how we sound, see if we need to turn what down, when, where, why, how. Let me check it real quick, see what it's sounding like. Alright, sounds like everything's good, man. Shout out to Yellow Boy Beats Production, sign SODMG Records, Soldier Boy, Greedy Money GMC, down in Miami getting that paper, boo boo. Thank you for the background for the stream. I greatly appreciate it, fam. You are the best at what you do. Thank you for providing it. I will definitely give you that love and support the same that you show for me. Hopefully y'all are having a blessed day out there. Shout out to my wife. Gotta give a huge shout out to her. Today is our 6-year anniversary. My queen, I love you, baby. You are my heart. We are raising these kids right, doing this damn thing. It's a crazy world to live in these days. I know it's hard out there for some of y'all. And I tell you what, you can look at and see it everywhere who is a parent. You can just look at faces. We essentially look like homeless crackheads, and I can say crackheads, right? Because, I mean, there ain't any of them left, I don't think. I think everybody's done moved on to bigger and better things, so you could use that, I think. But, you know, we look like homeless junkies or something, y'all. We look tore up, like we can't sleep, we can't find our appetite, and that's because we take care of somebody else, you know. If you got one kid, you're tired. Once you hit 2 kids, it don't matter how many kids you have after that, you are exhausted. There's nothing left in the tank. It doesn't matter how much you eat, how much you intake, you're gonna be skinny and ridiculous regardless. It's just the way it is these days. The world is set, so we're always on the move. We're always on the go, y'all. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, life is gonna be fast for you. And if you're a parent, man, life's gonna be fast. It's crazy out there, man. It's been hard for all of us, I tell you what. And I tell you what, it's coming winter. Winter's coming and it's cold. I have a love-hate relationship with the cold, y'all. I tell you what, it's kind of like a, I don't know. I can tell you in Kentucky, we have bipolar weather. So it kind of is really awkward here. You can't ever get used to it. It's cold one day, it's warm another. It'll be summertime one day and it'll snow the next day here. So it's really hard to get used to. But watch out for them people less fortunate out there. You see a lot of the homeless moving. They're picking up in shelters and stuff. If y'all got extra coats, donate them. Let's look out for one another because it is a crazy world that we live in, man. Kids these days are crazy too. I tell you what, that's definitely one thing that's more crazy these days is raising kids. Man, when I was an adult,
Yellow Boy Beats.
sorry y'all, trying to fix my audio a little bit. Turn this up a little bit. Yeah, when I was a kid, man, things seemed different. It seemed like you couldn't get in trouble as easy. Nowadays, it seems like there's a lot more for your kids to do to get in trouble. Kids themselves are crazier these days. They're doing a lot of crazy stuff. I'd never be walking in no grocery store, opening the top of an ice cream, licking it, and putting it back to film for social media. That just sounds ridiculous and stuff. There's a lot of those things that go around, and you know it is definitely because kids have got crazier. It's also become crazier to raise your kids these days because of the fact, I mean, you know the alphabet soup out there, they're after you. It don't matter. Their job's literally to come and get them. And I tell you what, it is crazy out there for parents. Don't get me wrong. Some people, they just don't know how to raise kids. They don't need to be parents. They shouldn't be parents. All right. But it's absolutely crazy. It's hard to whoop your kids' butt these days. It's hard to yell at your kids. Sometimes you yell at your kids in public. People look at you like you're crazy. Like, nah, my kid just cussed at me. And I tell you what, back in my day, when I was a kid, man, my dad had got me. I'm telling you what, my dad would have got me if I'd have cussed at him in the middle of Walmart with people looking at him. Oh man, I tell you what, a lot of y'all feel that. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all parents would have been having you go pick a switch. They'd have grabbed the belt. Now these days, it's not the same. You know, you can't do all that to your kid. Nowadays, there's an alphabet for your kid, you know, so there's a reason why they're bad, and I get that some kids in that boat, but it seems like we highly medicating kids these days. Highly medicating kids these days, I tell you what. Early, too. Sometimes it just take a few years. Some kids need the help. I agree. albeit I know my kids a little butt. All of them. I can't blame them none, no. I know their mom and dad. I know all the parents involved in the situation. I know what it took to make that baby. And I tell you what, my kids they're like that because they're me. I can't blame them none. But I'm gonna try to sculpt them. I'm gonna try to fix them. I tell you what, my little redhead Christopher, it's like he really ain't got no soul or something. Like he just angry about everything. He don't like much to eat. If you don't give him them couple things, oh man, I tell you what, it's chicken nuggets, ramen. He does like Happy Meals, French fries. He likes those things. There for a little while, he had the regular chicken nuggets. Y'all know the bag from Walmart. He had a big bag, he was eating them. Then one day we took him to McDonald's and we got him a Happy Meal. Probably the worst thing in the world I have ever done was take that boy to McDonald's and get him a Happy Meal. Because the chicken nuggets that are at McDonald's probably made my kid addicted. I don't know. I don't understand. The breading, I get it there. It's delicious. I love the crunchiness of them too, and I guess I can. If I had a choice, I'd pick them same chicken nuggets. But my kid, after eating those, no longer wanted to eat the McDonald's chicken nuggets like that weren't McDonald's. I would try to trick him like I used to and be like, yeah, these are from McDonald's, and I'd get him the Walmart ones. And, throw them on a plate, heat them up in a microwave and trick him. Nah, when he actually went to McDonald's, it ruined that for me. Now he won't eat any kind of chicken nugget at all unless it comes from McDonald's, and he knows what they look, taste, feel, smell. He knows what it all is, okay? So you can't trick that boy at all. But I will tell you the one thing that he don't know is that he don't know what cereal be different like. Because I definitely have got him tricked a few times. I bought the cheap Fruit Loops, put it in an expensive box. He likes the Reese's Puffs, so I'll go buy the off-brand Reese's Puffs and put it in the Reese's Puff bag because he'll only eat those ones. I've tricked him a few times, that is for sure. And I'm telling you, it's definitely getting crazier out there for us as parents, man. My kids talk to me some kind of way that I've never heard before. And it's crazy because you'll try to correct them and they'll look at you like you the dummy. Like, nah, bro, you the one that's not, nah, we ain't even gonna go there. No, I don't think so. My kids be talking about the most random stuff. You ever sit and listen to your kids? They be in their bedroom by themselves? Man, I tell you what, I heard my daughter tell my son, give me that back, you little fucker. Oh, man. And from outside the room, I was like, ooh, I should be mad. I should go in there and kick the door. Kick the door down, be like, no, you ain't supposed to use that word. But then I'd be wrong. I'm spying, and I'm supposed to teach my kids you ain't supposed to be spying on nobody and listen to their conversations. Now, they was too loud. They shouldn't have been so loud. They didn't want me to hear it and yell at them. They should have been quieter. They should have heard how loud they were and knew, Daddy's going to hear that. I'm going to get my butt whooped. But they didn't. But at the same time, I thought back when I was a kid, man, the kind of stuff we said to each other when we weren't around our parents was probably just like that. And I know that it was when I got older. It just seems like kids are doing these things younger. And what's crazy, I was in the car with my daughters driving to school, and a song came on the radio, and it was bleeping out the cuss words that my kids were saying in the background. And I was like, whoa, no, stop. No, you ain't saying those words. And they said, no, we're allowed to sing them because they're part of a song. And I was like, what? No, you ain't allowed to just use cuss words because they part of a song. You ain't about to say some of them words up in my house. And they said, well, mommy lets me. And I'm thinking, oh man. Now, mind you, I am part of a split household. My daughters I've had with my ex. My third daughter is my wife's daughter from her previous. And then we share our redhead son. Crazy that the meanest one is the one that we share that makes it to where we're a blended family, because man, it blends it pretty angry, like I tell you what. But I do love my family, but it's very hard for me to hear my kids say some of them words and be the way they are towards each other. I tell you what, it's crazy. So I try to correct them and try to mold them, but I swear it's so hard to teach a kid these days. It's like they've learned that they're not supposed to listen to you, or they've learned that they are only supposed to listen to their teachers. And I think the reality is that our kids have learned that we don't really have any power over them anymore. Like, we can't, tear them a new one. We can't, back in the day, I'll tell you, I remember as a kid, I remember getting such a bad punishment one time that it literally changed the history of my life. One time, my parents left me home. I was in 8th grade. All right, I was in 8th grade. We were living in Missouri. My parents went for a week TDY somewhere. They were in the military. They were planning on a move, so they went to go look at houses and stuff and left me home alone. And my dad left his truck there, and I knew where his keys were just in case of an emergency. Well, while they were gone, I took the truck multiple times. Went to friends' houses. All right, yes, I was that young. I mean, I was in a military family. You grow up quick, and I drove miles. I'm talking about, we lived out in the country. I probably drove 20 or 30 miles to a friend's house, probably 3-4 times while they were gone, and killed the gas tank. Parked it back, didn't think nothing about the gas. I was like, my dad won't notice. He don't remember how much gas he had in it. I chalked the lines every time I left it, the tires, so that every time I pulled back, I put it exactly back, so my dad wouldn't know that I moved his truck. Well, then I'm sitting there one night about to go to bed after my parents come home. The very night my parents come home, actually, from their trip. They come home from their trip, and I hear my dad yell up to me, "Christopher, get your ass down here," right? And when he does say this, I know I'm in trouble, right? And I know that I'm in trouble because he used my name. Usually he'd say a nickname for me, or shithead, or something, just something to get my attention. This time he used my full name. I was like, oh man, as a kid, when they use your full name, you're in trouble. The same thing now. If you're married and your wife uses your full name, you're either getting a divorce or you're sleeping on the couch. That's what you got left at that point. All right, when they use the full government, you in trouble. All right, so I'm sitting there and I'm like debating what I should do, and I hear him yell again. So I get up and I run down. And I run down to the top of the stairs, and when I look down the stairs, I see my dad and my stepmom standing right there at the base of the stairs. And my dad looks right up at me and he says, "Did you drive my truck while I was gone?" And as a dumb 8th grader, I thought, there's no way he knows that specific knowledge, and there's a specific reason why he's asking me that one question in this moment. I said, "Nope, never touched it. I don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "Really?" And I take 2-3 steps down the stairs because he looks over to the left, and I couldn't see, but to the left was our front door. And at the front door was our neighbor. Oh man, when I saw my neighbor's face, I knew I was in for it. Because I knew I could lie. And I knew that guy didn't come over to do so. That guy came over to snitch on me, okay? So, he did. He said, "Well, I saw you get in your dad's truck one night and leave, and you didn't come back till 3 a.m. And I'm thinking, man, this guy is spooky, crazy. He just sat up all night waiting for the neighbor's kid to get home. Like, that seems like I bet that guy probably has to register now. I have this inkling feeling this guy's up till 3 a.m. watching people. I mean, I get it, he was worried, but I mean, he wouldn't have known. He's a random kid next door. I didn't know the guy, so I didn't think nothing of it, but I said, yes, I did. And my dad looked at the neighbor guy and he said, "Thank you, sir. I do not need your assistance anymore." And the neighbor actually said, "Okay, I'll lock this." And he reached in, locked the door, and pulled the door closed for my father. My heart sunk. I knew in that moment I was screwed. I knew I was in for it. I didn't know what kind of punishment I was going to get. So my stepmom, looks up the stairs and she says, "You're grounded for a whole month, and we'll work out what the details are." And I looked at her and I said, "You're not my mom!" And I said the B word to her. Oh man, I seen my dad jump real quick, and I saw the glint in his eyes. So I took my chance and I bolted down the stairs between them, pushed them to the side, unlocked the front door, and took off running out the front door, right? and I'm running out the front door, and I didn't realize my dad could run that quick. I mean, that man was like a fucking cheetah. He was, that man was on me like white on rice, I tell you what. And he grabbed the back of my damn shirt right here on the collar when I was mid-stride, and grabbed it, and my feet came up out from under me. I was like, shh. Boom, he slammed me to the ground, and I said, F that, she's not my effing mom. F that B. So, boop! My dad decked me in the eyes so hard, I swear he brought me back 3 weeks. I was so stunned, not just that my dad hit me, but damn, that man could hit. I thought he was a pussy. Yeah, man. He clocked me so hard, I am telling you, I was 3 weeks dumb. I'm telling you, I was like a baby. I started crying, got up, started running. Like I didn't have nowhere to go, but dang it, I was running. And I was probably running to the unsafest house that I thought was the safest. I just got decked in the eye, ran in the front door, ran up the stairs, laid down in bed. I'm telling you what, that was a very traumatic event in my life, and that changed the course of my history. I'm telling you, I cussed a whole lot just now around my dad. I didn't cuss around him no more. I mean, even to this day, when I'm calling him on the phone and I'm talking to him, when I slip out a cuss word on the phone, I feel like someone smacks me. Like I feel like someone just punches me in the face and reminds me, hey, dummy, you talking to your dad? What you doing? You know? I mean, but the man did instill some fear in me, and it was needed. Now that I'm an adult, I look back and I realize, God, I needed that. I needed that in order to stop the path that I was on. These days, it's hard to do that with kids. You can't. You used to be able to call the cops. They'd come get them, scare some fear into them, slap some cuffs on them, tell them that they're going to go to jail for the rest of their lives if they don't start listening to their parents and stuff, But no, man, that's not the way it is anymore. You can't do that. The world's crazier to live in. It's crazier to raise your kids in. And there's no way to instill fear into your kids to where they're too scared to go do something that they really want to do. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that. Like, I know every one of y'all feel that there's no way in the world to raise kids these days without doing just a whole lot of yelling. Like, I swear, I'm the most yelling person I know, y'all. I mean, it makes me go 0 to 100 real quick. And it's because at home, I have 4 kids that I've repeatedly told the same thing to 1,000 times. And then I go out in public and see one of y'all doing it and you act stupid. And well, damn it. I mean, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to yell at you about it. I mean, it's 1,001 now. I know that y'all weren't part of the problem, but I mean, shit, by now, some of y'all should have learned the same problems, and fixed them. I'm just messing with y'all. But for real, though, it is hard out there to be a parent and raise kids. Like, it really is. Everything's got so much more expensive. It's just got harder to deal with, as a parent, just in general. Wages haven't caught up. It's nuts. And I want to give a big shout out, my boy. He helped me out on Thanksgiving, my boy out. He also is trying to bring the union to where he works, which they'll find out soon enough when he makes it happen. I just want to give a big shout out to him. I hope you make it happen, bro. I hope everything works out, and I hope you get that top position, big dog. Hopefully you get some paper, boo-boo, Make sure that happens for your family, that's for sure. Let me check this audio real quick. All right, looks like it's looking and sounding good. Man, I cannot wait. The winter's above us and here, but I swear, like I've said, in Kentucky, the weather's bipolar. It's up and down and it's left and right, so I'd really like to just get a good cold section where we get some snow. I'm the kind of guy that look, man, if I'm gonna deal with the freezing cold weather, stop raining on me. I mean, somebody else has to feel that. I can't be the only one. I know it for a fact. Because I know it bothers me to the core. Like, if it's going to be cold, right, and I'm going to have to deal with it being cold, at least give me some snow. Make it look good out here. Like, everything's done died. You done took all the leaves and the grass and all the pretty bushes and flowers and all the bugs. Yes, please, I hope we have a good freeze this year, y'all. I know a lot of y'all don't really care. I want a good freeze. Let's get rid of these mosquitoes and flies. My house filled up like it was a morgue with flies. I tell you what, it was crazy, like I was hanging meat. Like, I tell you what, it's nuts the way Kentucky's got. Like this whole, bipolar roller coaster of weather, we got to fix this, man. Hopefully, somehow, some way, we just get some snow, get rid of all of this, and we'd be good to go. Because I know when the snow comes, I am totally looking forward to making some content for y'all. Because I just got a free kayak from somebody, y'all. And I'm going to take some sex wax and I'm going to put it on the bottom of it, right? And I'm going to take it to the biggest hills in Radcliffe and we're going to kayak. We're going to kayak. I'm going to tell you what, boy. I'm going to film every bit of it. I'll put it online. I'm going to try to stand up. We're going to do whatever. I'm going to get the kids doing it. If there's strangers around, hey, come hop in the kayak. Let's go. We going kayaking in the snow. That's what we're going to do, y'all. Hopefully, there'll be some people out there with us to be able to want to do it because I think it would be great for a lot of us to get out there, shoot some video of us riding a kayak. I'm going to find the biggest hills. I tell you what, Radcliffe, y'all going to have to help me find some hills. I am ready for it. Now, my next favorite part of winter is definitely the number one favorite of my wife. It's Snuggles. I definitely love Snuggles. I like this time of year. You're going to be close to your loved one. Make sure y'all spend some good, loving time with them. I will tell you, though, things with women have got crazier, too, in life. It's hecka crazy out there. There's a lot of crazy people out there. Dating's been crazy, everybody wants to pay for it, and everybody wants to half and half, and it's crazy out there, man. I don't know. It's crazy. People are having to grow up earlier in life. Your kids are talking to you like they're adults. It's nuts. But I get it. Ain't nobody gonna baby our kids when they leave this house. So don't try to baby them 100% when they at the house. Because then when they leave, they're gonna be expecting babied, and then next thing you know, they the Karen on the TV. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if my kid ends up being a Karen, I'm videoing them too, and I'm putting them online. Everybody's gonna see them. If they in Walmart or something crying about something, I'm gonna video them. We're gonna get it. We're gonna make sure they get to be world star famous. All right, we're gonna make sure of it. Now I'll tell you what. Dating nowadays has changed so much, but people are still doing it. But it's crazy because it's less about love and more about getting it. You know what I'm saying? And I attract crazy chicks like insane asylums. Like I'm handing out meds. Like I'm the dude that can fix you. And that's cool because I like that fun, that roller coaster of events. Because when life gets boring, it's boring. So I get it. I love my type. My type needs to be fixed, and then we fix it and we work it. And me and my wife, we've been married for 6 years, or been together for 6 years, and I love the woman to death. We've been on our roller coaster, and it was fun, And now we got life figured out. We trying to raise these kids in this crazy world that is so hard to raise kids in. It's nuts. It's mainly nuts because they make life so fast-paced. Everybody's working 40, 60 hours a week. If you have kids, both parents have to work. You got to switch back and forth watching kids like you're dating or like you ain't even together. You see each other when you sleep, and that's not the lifestyle that we really need to be. That's why kids is changing because parents is always gone. It's hard to have home structure when you don't feel like you have a home, when adults always got to be working and kids got to be the one raising themselves. And it's different these days than when I was a kid, man. But when I was a kid, though, I had that also. I had that same lifestyle. My parents were military. We moved around a lot. I was born and raised in the Army. That's why I joined the Army and did what I did. I was medical maintenance, fixed and maintained all the medical equipment in the hospital, and I loved my job. But because all the back surgeries and stuff, shout out to everybody that had back surgeries, neck surgeries. I feel you. I understand you. I know what it's going to be like for the rest of your life, my life. It's going to be, ups and downs. And believe it or not, if you've never experienced some form of back or neck pain, you're truly not going to understand what somebody that does have that goes through. To be honest, I'll tell you, a lot of people that know me don't even realize that I've had 5 back surgeries. They don't realize that I'm prior service military. I got this hair like a hippie now, which is crazy, y'all, because I've never really had hair. Most of the people that know me, they know that I've never had hair. I was a military brat. My hair was always cut short. These big goofy ears was sticking the hell out. I was always getting AM, FM, great channels at the crib. This nose has always been big, but I've never had hair. Y'all see this? Look at that. See, sticks right out. I have a way to point me in life forward, y'all. But I tell you what, this is only 3 years of hair growth, and I absolutely have a love-hate relationship with it. It's crazy having hair. It is crazy, and I really I really have to give props to you women for taking care of yours so well over the years. Like, all the women out there that I know, you all have hair. You know, well, not all of them now. I mean, there's a lot of women out there that have short hair nowadays, but over the years, it had to be hard to take care of, and I appreciate you. Y'all are awesome, because since I've had hair for 3 years, I do have a very, very love-hate relationship with my hair. You know, I love it because it's the first time in my life that a woman or a man or anybody has complimented me on something about myself other than my clothing or, you know, other things, you know, when it comes to like nighttime fun. But, you know, other than that, as a man, I've never had nobody just be like, ooh, I like that about you. Now, I mean, my eyes once in a while, but not like how people compliment me on my hair, because I have these curls and it's natural. I don't do anything. I don't curl them. I don't flat iron my hair. I don't do anything to my hair. I just wake up. I do add just a touch of oil to it if it's all frizzy, because man, I have big hair if I have my hair out. I tell you what, if I don't wake up, if I just brush it and there ain't no moisture involved, it is ridiculous. And I'm sure that's probably a normal thing. I've never had hair before, so I don't know. I just know that the one thing that really does bother me, that I've never really been able to get over in the past 3 years, and I probably ain't going to be able to get over in the past 3 years, or in the next 3-4 years, is the hair itself getting in my mouth. Like, and same thing, I've been trying to grow this out, you know? Yeah, see my little man beard, growing it out, trying, you know, I'm patchy, y'all call me Patches, you know, whatever you want to say. I'm working on it, I'm trying to grow all this out, but that's why a lot of people don't feel like I've been in the military, because I have all of this going on, and I get it, but I do understand the people that have back pain. That's what I said before and was getting to, and then kind of jumped to the military service thing. But hopefully everybody's been having a good day, like I said, and it has been getting harder to raise kids out there, and it is crazy that I have this long of hair in 3 years. I will give shout outs to mane and tail, because I tell you what, I've learned the tips and tricks to growing good hair, and man, it has worked out for me. This is like 2.5, 3 years of hair growth, and if I straighten it, I definitely have booby length hair, but if I don't straighten it, the curls, it's like my hair won't get much longer than this. It's like, even though it grows longer, the curls lift it up, and I just get more curls. It's absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. All right, y'all, so we want to jump right into talking about a story I have. A buddy of mine, we'll call him Jim, all right? He was telling me about his trip on acid, right? And I've been thinking for a long time, man, that would be something cool to try, but I never ever tried it, okay? I've never tried it, and I haven't tried it for a lot of reasons. One being, I don't want to have a bad trip. I've just never been the kind of guy that's like, hey, I just want to go out and like totally have a bad time for a few hours. You know, it's just never been me. So I just don't want to be in a situation where like I can't turn it off. You know, like you go to the club, right, and you're having a bad day and you're like, hey, I'm going to go to the club and have a good time. And you go to the club and you get there and you don't have a good time. Well, you can leave, right? You can leave. Even if you have a few drinks, you can leave. You can drink. You could be drunk when you leave, you can be sober when you leave, right? But you can leave. That's not how acid works, right? If you go to the club and you take acid, right, and you're unhappy, you're going to stay fucking miserable, and then you're stuck there. You're no longer going to be able to leave that situation until the acid tells you, hey, you're able to leave this. And I don't think that I'm all ready for that, right? So my buddy was over here telling me about his situation, right? He said some guy gave him some, they were chilling, right? And he said, the guy told him, come over and try it. I want you to just get blasted, right? So he goes over there and he takes him a big hit of it, right? One hit of acid. He said, he doesn't really feel anything, right? So then he says, I'm going to go ahead and take another one. He takes another one, right? And the guy that's sitting there with him tells him, the moment you don't feel like you can take another hit, right? And as he's telling me this story, I'm thinking, that's some shitty advice that guy gave you. He's gonna get you good, bro. I'm not hanging out with no dude that's gonna tell me when you feel like you can't take no more, take some more. Like, that just sounds dangerous, right? So he goes, takes a third hit. He said this time he starts to feel it, right? And he starts to feel it real good. And the guy says, take another hit. So he goes, all right, and takes another hit. And at this point, he's starting to climb. He's getting tore, right? and he's starting to fly away from his body. He said he feels almost. And the guy looks at him and he says, take another hit. And my boy Jim says, oh, I can't take another hit. Jim's buddy looks at him and he says, well, take another hit then. Yeah, you're good. Heck yeah, it's a perfect time to do what I said. Take another one when you don't think you can take another one. So Jim reaches over, he grabs it, takes him another hit, falls back on his back. Everything's still in his hands. The guy grabs it. He's kind of coherent, talking to him. And he says, I'm gone. And boy, he is. Jim lays down and he just blasts away from the earth, right? And he's flying through the sky. And he says that he only feels like he is just a ball of energy, a ball of light, a star, one single star. He is no longer Jim. He is a star. He is just energy. Jim is gone. Just energy, and he is flying through the atmosphere, just flying, and all he sees is other stars, and he's flying and flying and flying and flying. And he said that it just went to a crazy colors and purples, and everything was so crazy that he realized that everything was so interconnected and everything was just energy, and that everything was based off vibes and feelings. And I tell you what, I would have lost it. That's the time that I would have been like, what the is going on? Like, I would be losing my marbles. I wouldn't be able to handle it. Like, I don't know, like, bro, I'm me, right? So if I get jacked up and I'm thinking I'm not me, that would make me crazy. Like, I would start thinking, oh, wait, am I me? Am I not me? Like, are you Jim? Are you not Jim? Is this story your story or not your story, Jim? Or Coop? All right, that was the story, and that scared me away from acid again. Like, I don't know. He came over here to try and talk me into it, and I feel like that just scared me even farther away from a drug like that, man. And what's crazy is shrooms to me aren't like that. Shrooms, you can take micro doses of shrooms, and I've heard a lot of things about shrooms, guys and gals, because here recently they've been making it legal all over the U.S. Like, you can buy chocolate bars, and you can buy caps of this and caps of that. I mean, you can get penis envy shrooms. Penis envy shrooms. They look like little penises, all right? Literally, I swear to you, they look like little penises, all right? And this is the stuff that makes you better. I get it, because I, myself, have dabbled with mushrooms. Now, there's only been a couple times in my life that I've ever dabbled with them. One time being in high school, I dabbled with them by just faking that I did them and pretending to die and scaring somebody. And that was an absolutely great story, because they were all on shrooms. I wasn't. They thought I died. It was miserable for them. I thought it was funny. Oh my God, they were freaking. God, that's a great story. I completely forgot about that, y'all. Maybe I'll get into the nitty-gritty of that, but that's the gist of the story, y'all. It was hilarious. You should have seen it, bro. I'm telling you, they was calling people. They was trying to get an ambulance there. They was all tripping. Oh, man, it was great when the police showed up. Y'all should have seen it. Man, it was crazy. My buddy picked his old lady up, chucked her off the porch. Well, actually, it's my buddy's old lady picked him up and chucked him off the porch through the front window of the car while the police was there. It was absolutely funny. Absolutely dying. But that was only one time. Then the other time I messed with him, y'all, we was at the house, and some buddies of mine were coming over, and they were like, yo, you want to go fishing, right? So we were like, yeah, we're going to go fishing. So we loaded up and went got everything from the store that we needed to go fishing, because it'd been a while since we've been fishing, so we had to go grab a few things, grab fishing licenses so that when the police stop us, we don't get in trouble. You know, we got to make sure we own the up and up. Got to make sure you pay your dues to the government. Speaking of taxes, man, I hope they do stop taking money out of my taxes for work, y'all. I tell you what. That's another topic, but we don't get into the nitty gritty, but I hope that does go through, y'all. Real talk. But, so I was out here, and we came to the house real quick, and I was like, man, I got some shroomies, man. Y'all want to take some shrooms? So, you know, everybody, except for a responsible adult that was in charge of everybody, all the kids, all of us kids, they watched us, you know, and we all ate a couple, and to be honest, I was like, well, I'm not sure how much to really take for a micro, so, or how strong these mushrooms are, so I just, you know, got a little fucking handful and ate them, you know, down the hatch, you know, man. Some people don't really like the taste of them, and I get it, because it's a mushroom, you know, but There's a lot of good ways to make them. If you steep them for an hour, hour and a half, and then pull the shrooms out, put hot cocoa pack in it, perfect. I'll tell you what, my old lady loved that way. That's the way to take all of that away. But the truth is, mushrooms are a weird thing. Like, if you look online and watch documentaries about mushrooms, they'll tell you that mushrooms are interconnected. Like, their root systems underneath the trees and stuff that connect them all, and that they send energy to each other. And it really makes you wonder about mushrooms, because mushrooms have a amazing, amazing power to heal, in a sense. Like, especially in the mental mind aspect. Like, it's weird. I think that's why they're doing a lot more studies in different states and making it legal for mental health reasons and stuff. And weeds becoming legal everywhere. I mean, here in Kentucky, you can have up to 8 ounces and it be a misdemeanor. And if you get charged and you have a legal medical marijuana card and you've went to a legal place to purchase weed from out of state, which sounds dangerous going out of state and coming back. Ain't that like going across state lines with illegal products, or something? But anyway, supposedly the governor will he'll pardon you, and I think that's amazing, because it's a very big help for the medical community. There's a lot of people that suffer from asthma that it probably wouldn't be good for, but the aspects of the THC and other things, the chemicals that are in it, if made into a non-smoke form, help a lot of people also. I smoke, but I would prefer to see a lot of kids that have issues with epilepsy and other things be taking oil drops or whatever, tinctures. And to be honest, I've seen the studies, and they really help these kids. There's a lot of people out there that are on these that really are impacted on a daily basis. And big pharma companies are the companies that really lose out when that happens. That's the absolute truth of it. Big pharma companies are the companies that lose money when these kind of things, natural things that grow in the ground, that are super easy to cultivate and grow anywhere, when these things are made available for the entire public, it fixes a lot of issues that they make a lot of money on. That's the facts. So people always wonder, well, why, if weed's bad for you, or if weed's good for you, then why has it always been illegal? Well, because of big pharma, because of other alcohol and tobacco companies don't want it either. You don't think more people, if you're just able to smoke, will drink less? Very possibly. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but if you make some recreational things more available that have better benefits than other things, more people will choose them, i.e. the way cigarettes and vaping is. People all the time talk about vaping's bad for you. But the flip of the coin is that cigarettes are worse, right? Now, don't get me wrong, you run into other problems that you run into with vaping that you don't with cigarettes, and vice versa. That's the nature of the beast, though. You can't always be safe in every situation or alternative, and I get that. Safest alternative, quit, guys. I don't promote it. I know that I do some things that I would like to quit myself. I've been trying to quit smoking cigarettes, and I've been trying fairly hard, but not really. It just all depends. I've worked on it for years, and I've just been a daily smoker, so it's been hard for me to quit. But I do plan on quitting, and I've slowly been cutting back and slowly starting to do so, But if weed wasn't more available for people, some of those things would be harder to quit. Because some people don't want to take a bunch of pharmaceutical things. And again, that's where you get to those issues. Pharmaceutical companies are the reason why they are and have been unavailable for people for treatment. The natural ways people have done for years. It's just, that's the things that you gotta to look at. It's just like people are like, well, look at all the downfalls of weed. Well, look at all the downfalls of taking Tylenol. Look at all the downfalls of taking any kind of drug. Like, have you guys not watched a commercial, bro? There'll be a drug on TV that'll say, will fix your migraines, but will cause anal leakage, will cause self-shitting, will cause pissing randomly, will cause massive eye bleeds, will cause no bleeds, cause death, cause amputations. There'll be all this crazy stuff associated with a med that they're trying to fix one little issue for. But there's so many people out there that are like, yo, I'm gonna take that and maybe leak from my butthole and my head won't hurt. That's cool though. I'll just have to wear diapers. No, bro, smoke you a J or whatever and be on your way. Like, some things just really shouldn't make sense to people, and that's what I don't understand. Some things are just crazy, man. And growing up, I mean, I've had crazy ideas and crazy friends, but when it comes to your health, it shouldn't be a crazy situation that you can end up in just to get fixed. That's the truth. Real talk. Everything in this world's crazy, man. It's crazy. I'll tell you what, I don't know what to do with my children because I'm in a predicament. I'll let you guys help me. If you guys could jump in the comments eventually when you watch this and let me know what you think I should do. But my daughter got off of school the other day and she got in the truck. Both of my daughters, actually. They're in the back seat. And my daughter said, Daddy, they're making fun of me at school in class because I'm telling them that Santa's real. And in this moment, y'all, I was like, what? Oh, man, here it goes. I'm going to have to deal with something because it's that time of the year where we're choosing that it's better to lie to our kids instead of just tell them that we see them all year. And if they don't do well, that we ain't getting them nothing for Christmas. Instead of doing that, we're telling them, hey, some fat old guy that likes to give shit to kids, likes to sneak in our house and give shit to kids, watches you all year long with his magical ball or powers and creepily lets us know by not giving you anything at the end of the year if you were good or bad. That's the way we lie to our kids. Well, anyway, my child gets off school and says everybody's making fun of me, Dad, and says that Santa's not real and this and that. Is Santa real? And I'm sitting here thinking, no, I should get credit for all them hundreds of dollars of toys you get or whatever the case is, like all of you guys together. Like, no, Daddy, but I didn't say it out loud, and then she said, but everybody's making fun of me. And I really didn't know what to do. Like, do you in that moment lie to your kid, right? And say, yes, honey, Santa's real. You should believe in it, even if every other kid in your class has legit parents that told him, no, Santa's not real and has proved it time and time again. No, Santa's real, and have them go to school looking dumb and have them getting made fun of or maybe getting in fights. Or do you break their little heart now and tell them, no, look, Santa's not real. I just need you to do good all year or you're not getting nothing on Christmas. Give thanks that you get something on Christmas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do as a parent when your child comes to you with that between a rock and a hard place question? Like, I will not like having the birds and bees talk with any of my kids. Like, that's a very awkward thing that most of us parents have thought about. Like, how's that gonna go? Like, this is how, I don't even know how to go on. Like, go on stage with that one. Like, I can't even just come out with a joke. Ting, 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 ping. Nah, there's not even your kids ain't gonna laugh the way you're gonna laugh when you're talking about the birds and the bees. Like, in your head, a lot more than they do, hopefully. And, it'll be, it's gonna be tough, y'all. I don't know, man. It's just the world's crazy. Kids are growing up quicker. You have to raise kids like they're adults these days. You got to talk to them like adults. I mean, I never really talked to my kids with that baby talk and stuff when they were babies and stuff. Like, to me, it's not cute. Like, everybody's like, oh, he's cute. Bro, he just sounded like he drank too much and he passed out on the floor and he's sleeping. Like, making random, he sounds like Jabba the Hutt on drugs, like, I don't understand that thought process. Like, if we're trying to get our kids from the get-go to learn, don't just make random noises back to your baby, I guess. Like, speak words, just keep reintegrating those words into their head, and then just like every kid, once they hit a year and a half, they're going to start cussing you out in full sentences. They're going to hate you from the get-go, and they're going to let you know, but it's very hard, like I said, to raise kids. We all have different ways to raise kids, and it's just always blew my mind that parents are like, well, my kid didn't turn out smart. Well, if you look at some of the parents, You know, that whole apple from the tree thing? I mean, we can't go against genetics and nature here, guys. You know, like back in the day, it was a dog eat dog world in a different way. Okay? Like, for instance, I mean, one child in the neighborhood ended up missing. Okay? Everybody in the neighborhood was out looking for that kid, and which which person took that kid, right? Pitchforks and fire. Everybody'd be out there. And when they found that guy, what would happen? That's it. He'd never do that to another person again, right? No, not today. No, all they got to do is go online and tell everybody where they live. That's it. That's all. They good. You know, it's just the world's a more dangerous place for people. Like, we just found out, honestly, and I'll be honest with y'all. We just found out the guy that lives a few houses down from us, who was like the maintenance guy for our landlord, came over here to fix a few things a couple times, is actually a sex offender, you know, and he actually did it twice with kids under the age of 10, you know, and I'm living 2 houses down from the guy, and I have 3 beautiful daughters and a beautiful, cute son, and the moment I found out that, like before that, my kids would ride their bike out front a whole lot and stuff, and after I found that out, you go into parent mode. You start protecting your children, you know, and it's hard to be around somebody who has them kind of tendencies. You know, it's hard, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be mad at the guy. I get it, you know, and whatever. I don't get it, but that guy is that guy. I'm not gonna go start with that guy. He's over there. That's what I'm trying to get at. He's somewhere else. I'm over here minding my business. He minds his damn business. We good. You know, that's the way it should be. Mind your business, you know, kind of thing. So it just made me go into parent mode now. More kids playing out back thing. And I didn't know how to feel about the fact that they have a child or children that live in that home, right? Like, I would think that if you've been in trouble for things, that would be a forever thing, that you would never be allowed to live with kids, you know, but they do. And my children keep asking me to go over there. No, it's not happening, right? Their child wants to come over here and play in my backyard or something, cool, but I'm not gonna send them over there. And it's another situation that it's hard to like get into with your kid, right? But then when you don't get into it with your kid and explain kind of the nitty gritty to a dumbed down version a little, then your kid doesn't understand why you're not allowing them to go over there. And it's tough, you know, I don't know what to do sometimes. So I just say, no, your kid can come, they can come over here if they want. If their kid wants to run around and come over here, she can. That's fine, but I just don't want y'all over there, you know. And it's different in this day of age. Back in my day of age, man, those people, I guess, probably were out there. They just weren't, like, out there. Like, they weren't just everywhere, you know? And nowadays, it's different. We have to raise our kids differently. Like, it's a crazy world to live in when you can't take your kid out in the front yard without keeping an eye on them, you know? I mean, hell, we live on a dead end, and people drive 100 mile an hour going 3 houses down to hit their brakes and pull in their driveway. You know, it's absolutely crazy this day of age raising kids, man. And I don't know what to do with my daughter, because she still says that, you know, Santa's real, and I don't want to break her heart, but I told her, just don't. If you believe in Santa, just don't go to school telling anybody. That's it. If people are going to make fun of you, just don't tell nobody. You know, that was my way to get out of that, and I didn't know how to really get at it, but I tell you what, it was pretty hard. Yo, man, I gotta tell y'all a story that came up whenever I was doing my weekend thing this week at work. I was at work and I was telling a story. So I'm gonna tell y'all a story about me and my buddy. We'll call him Jeff, okay? And to all the people out there named Jeff, disclaimer, this isn't about you. This is a random name I have reached for out of the sky and put on a real person, okay? Jeff does exist. His name's just not Jeff. We tracking? Okay. All right. So nobody write any hate mail to me. Anybody named Jeff saying, I'm mad you used my name and it's in likeness of me. And no, Jeff, I'm not talking about you. Now, if you've done this, I get it. Okay? So, I have some crazy friends, all right? When I got out the Army, I tended to be having a little bit more crazy friends around me in the first place. So, one of my first good friends, we'll call him Jeff, okay? That's his name, Jeff. So, One night, we were hanging out, and he said, "Hey, Coop, you want to go for a ride?" And I said, "Hell yeah." He said, "You want to drive my car?" "Sure, Jeff, I'll drive your car," right? He said, "Cool, because I've been drinking." And I said, "Cool, I don't want no DUI, so I ain't been, I'll drive." He said, "Cool." Well, mind you, I didn't know at the time that he had a tarp in the trunk and a gun, a rifle, next to the passenger seat, right? So I get in the car and we're driving down highway. I don't want to say. So we were driving down a road, right? This long highway right around here where it's real dark at night. And there's these big fields off to the sides, tank trails and stuff, right? So we're driving down the road. Mind you, I had no idea any of this was going to happen, okay? Anybody listen, police, whoever be watching my channel, I didn't know this was going to happen, okay? So do not get on to me about it, okay? So I was driving down the highway, right? Not telling you which one. Driving down the highway. And I know for a fact there's deer, right? They're everywhere all the time at night. That's why we're driving down this road apparently, and I didn't know that at the time, right? And we had the sunroof open. It was a beautiful night. So we're driving down the road, and my buddy Jeff, he says, "Turn your brights on." And so I did, right? And we just start going down this patch of highway where there's nothing but a big field for like a whole mile, right? And we just hit that patch. And he jumps up out the sunroof. And I didn't notice that he had grabbed the rifle from beside his seat, right? And he was perched on top of the car. I thought he was just up there hanging out while I'm driving, enjoying life, you know, being a crazy friend like we always did as kids, hanging out of windows, hanging out of sunroofs, moonroofs, whatever you call them, okay? Nope, the man had a gun, right? And when I turned them bright lights on, all the deer's eyes lit up and they all stopped. And I was driving, listening to music, jamming, thinking he was up there jamming, and all I heard was boom! He pulled the trigger. I didn't know he had a rifle up there. I was scared. I thought somebody shot at us, right? So I hit my brakes. Freaked out. Oh, Jeff went up, boop, 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 flying. That's when I noticed Jeff had a gun. When Jeff went down the front of the video, oh man, I wish I still did have the video. So anyway, that's when I seen it. He went down the front of the window shield, okay? And I had the video because I used to have, we had a cam in his car for, you know, if anything ever happened, you know. But he down over the front of the hood, in front of the car. He pops up, has a gun in his hand, right? People are driving by us. Oh my God. He takes off, and when he's taking off, I'm yelling out the window, "What are you doing, Jeff?" He says, "Just drive. Come back and get me." I'm freaking out, man. This guy just popped up out the sunroof, took a shot at something. I slammed on my brakes. The guy's tumbling over the front of the car onto the road. Car's driving by honking while he's up there standing up with his gun saying, "I'm good." Right? I'm freaking. I'm losing it, man. I didn't know what to do, right? I was lost. So what I did was I just drove. I drove all the way up the road, came all the way back, right? And I'm freaking out, man, because I didn't know what to do. Like, Jeff disappeared off into the wood line, and I'm driving his car. Mind you, at the time, I didn't have a license. I don't think there was insurance on the vehicle, and I'm just driving, you know, and I know there's an open container in the car because I know Jeff wasn't holding it when he tumbled over the front of the video. I mean, in the window, you know. I say it the video because when I drove for that 3 hours, I sat there watching the video, you know, over and over again because I didn't know what to do. Like, my phone didn't have any service. Jeff's phone, I know he had it. He used it as a light, but my phone didn't have any service. Then it died. So I'm driving back and forth up and down this highway, listening to music quietly, freaking out. And I'm telling you, 3 or 4 hours driving up and down this damn road. And out of nowhere, a deer runs in front of me. And I go to slam on my brakes, and Jeff runs in front of me too. Right? And then when I come to a screeching stop, he puts his arms up like this, and the deer scurries off, and he yells at me, "Damn it, you made me lose him," right? Then he gets in the car, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, "Jeff, where the hell you been? I thought I was gonna get whipped, pulled over and shit," right? I'm like, "Where the hell you been?" He said, "Bro, I shot the deer. The deer went," because I watched it. I was watching forward, right? When I slammed on the brakes. When he shot, I watched the deer and the headlights drop. So I knew that that's what he did, was shoot a deer or something. It was I saw the eyes just in the dark. So he said the deer jumped back up. As soon as he got to it, he said, "Man, I walked up to that damn deer, and as soon as I got down to touch it, it jumped up, scared the shit out of me. I pissed all over myself, and it ran away." And he said, I know I shot it because it was bloody. And so he used his flashlight on his phone to track it. And he tracked it for like 3 hours, 4 hours. And I guess the deer never died because that was the deer that was bolting across the road when I almost hit the deer and hit him. And I'm telling you, these are the kind of friends that was around me when I first got out the Army. Like, crazy friends. Like, I know what, boy, I have a couple stories to tell you about my boy Ampton. All right. So my boy Ampton, one time we were over his house and we were drinking. That was the thing we did when we got out the Army. A lot of us just drank. You know, weed wasn't as legal. It wasn't as prevalent. So I didn't do a whole lot of smoking. I did a lot of drinking when I first got out the Army. And I'm paying for it now. I tell you what, we had a lot of beer pong, slip and slides, Army trucks, you know, outside, you know, people fighting, people getting hurt, people getting loved. You know, I remember this girl, Stevie, one time, she got picked up by Dustin, and Dustin was running towards the slip and slide, and he slipped and fell as soon as he got on the slip and slide, and he fell back and kind of suplexed her into the ground and busted her face off the ground. I remember one time they was going down a slip and slide and hit the tent stake, cut her leg open real bad, had to get stitches and stuff. But we had a lot of good times, though, you know, but I was surrounded by a bunch of crazy people. Now, one time, me and my boy Ampton and a couple other people, actually, our buddy, he worked at the Chinese restaurant, right? He, I don't remember his name. Hold on, wait. It was Chang or something like that. I can't remember now, but well, he worked at a Chinese restaurant, legit Chinese guy, you know, or somewhere from right around there, and he was over, and he was like, man, hanging out with some crazy white dudes for sure, because Hampton wanted us to get this goat that was in his backyard, right? He had a bunch of goats running around for some reason. He's one of them dudes that sees something online, funny, cute, whatever it is. He's a random purchaser, okay? You know, that he also has Army Deuce and a half truck that is his personal own vehicle that he drives around on a regular, you know? So he has this in his house, and he's trying to corral these goats, and he doesn't have actual flashlights. All he has is guns that have mounted flashlights on them. Right? So he hands us all, when we first get there, these guns, turns the flashlight on, and says, "Come on, we got to go get this deer, or these goats." And we're freaking out, like, what are we doing? You hand us loaded guns and stuff to go get some goats in the backyard? Like, I ain't even eating goat. Like, what are we talking about here, bro? I'm not here to do none of that. You know, I'm drunk, you know, and he ends up bringing them out there, and actually, it turned out to be a good time. He just wanted us to run and tackle these goats. I'm not sure what it was about it. Like, he wanted us to tackle them and get them corralled for him. So it ended up being a pretty good time, but it was so weird running and chasing animals in the backyard with a weapon, because these are the kind of friends I had, all right? Now, one time we were with him, right? And so he was too drunk to drive, and he looks at my buddy Dustin, and he says, "Hey, you and Coop want to go get cigarettes from Dodge's?" Mind you, Dodge is the only store open anywhere around where we lived at the time, and it was a good 20-minute drive, well, not really, it's probably 10-minute drive, 15-minute drive when you're drunk. So he asked Dustin was a sober one. So Dustin said, yeah, and we loaded up in the car, and we were waiting for Hampton. And Hampton, he, mind you, took a little bit longer than everybody else, and we figured out why. It was because the man was loading up an AK-74 in his room. So then he comes out, jumps in the car, tosses the AK-74 over on Dustin, says, "Let's roll," right? Why in the world would you need an AK-74 to go to Dodge's when you're drunk to get something to drink and get a pack of cigarettes? I don't know, right? So I'm thinking, like, man, this is kind of crazy. This is the first couple times I'd met Hampton, right? I was kind of like, what is going on with this guy, right? So, mind you, Like the second time I've hung out with him. First time was chasing goats. Second time we're going to Dodges. So we're going to Dodges, and on the way there, we're like, bro, we're totally gonna go to jail, bro. Like, why do you have this? And he's like, no, he's got the gun in. Fuck that, man. Nah, we get pulled over, man. I'm jumping out shooting. Bro, pull over. Pull over, bro. Let me out. Let me out right now. I'm not dying. Not today, Satan. You ain't about to get me with your crazy stuff. Nope, nope. I don't think so. Like, and I think he was just BSing. But he probably wasn't, to be honest, guys, because he's really that way. Like, this guy, I think he was serious, okay? He was probably serial. I'm glad the night went the way it did, because it ended up being a great night, kind of. On the way home, there's this hill on Hobbs Reeser where if you get enough speed, you'll jump, right? If you get too much speed, you'll jump really far. So, well, what happened is he went down that road, and he hit the gas. Well, really, it was more his fault, but Dustin was driving, or maybe he was driving by this point. He sobered up or something. I don't know. He was driving, and he hit the hill going way too fast, man. And I'm telling you, my ass came up off the seat. We had so much air. I mean, this hill is bad. Like, if you hit it, you'll drop your transmission and your oil pan on the ground, and you'll break it everywhere. I'm telling you, you'll leak everything out. And he had this little Volkswagen is what it was, a Jetta, like a 2-door or something, 4-door Jetta or something, older one, like a red one. And man, he jumped this hill, got some air. I remember I had the cigarette in my hand, and it came out, and it was spinning in the air. And then when we hit the ground, my cigarette went boom down on the ground and smacked and went everywhere. It was so crazy. But that guy is the guy I hung out with for a little while after I got out the Army. Them are the kind of people that I hung out with. Here's another good story from him too. So one time we was having a party at his house, right? And mind you, this is how crazy it is. Okay. I think the military does this to us, where when we get out, we're a little crazy, got to figure it out because we're indestructible, we work our butts off, we're crippled 90% of the time when we get out. You know, I mean, I'm medically retired, and man, I am beat up. I tell you what, like a punching bag. So, but anyway, so one time we're at his house, we're having a party for another active duty guy that we knew at the time, named Key, right? So we're having a party at our house, and a kegger, and we have kegs and shit, and we're, by this, you know, at this point, man, kegs are floating and stuff. I go out back, take a leak. Dustin's out back taking a leak, man, and I ended up falling over midstream. I catch my stream on the ground, go to the ground, try to stand up, fall backwards, then try to stand up again and fall forward. Then just end up rolling over, sliding over, holding my hands up, saying, Dustin, help. And he helped me up after he got done pissing. You know, that's how jacked up we were this night. So, mind you, things like what's about to happen were going to happen and bound to happen anyway. So, we were at his house, and Key, the party guy, it was his birthday party, passed out before anybody else. We didn't know at first, because the chick that he was there with wasn't like around him. She was like around me all of a sudden, and he wasn't anywhere to be found. So we was like, where's he at? So we went looking for him, and we found him passed out in one of the rooms on an army cot, right? And I'm thinking, man, that sucks, bro. It's your party, and you're out first. What is going on, right? So Hampton goes, nah, we're about to wake him up, right? I'm like, all right, cool. How, right? So we shake him, smack him a couple times, pour water on him. Nothing. Doesn't face this guy. Hampton disappears off into the background of people that are surrounding us and filling up the room, trying to wake him up. And here comes Hampton, and the crowd kind of splits pretty quick because Hampton is holding a 50 caliber Barrett sniper rifle, okay? And I don't know what to think at this point. Like, I'm kind of in a phase here. I'm up in smoke at the time, and we made kegs float, so I'm tore up, right? I had just fell into the ground while peeing. So I'm standing here thinking, what is about to happen, bro? And a bunch of people say this, and they take off running. They're out, bro. They run outside and shit. Nobody's calling the police or nothing because nobody thinks he's going to kill nobody or nothing. But which maybe we should have probably thought that through, though, because, I mean, if somebody just starts walking through your house during a party with a gun, you probably should do something about it. You should be careful doing that kind of thing these days, because I've seen some stuff happen that shouldn't happen at parties. I tell you what, and having a gun around probably ain't the best if you just showing up like that. But anyway, he comes in, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, bro, what are you about to do, bro? And I didn't know that he had already racked a 50 cal blank into this barrel, right? And I'm like, oh man, what are you about to do, bro? He said, we about to wake this fool up. And he yells real loud. He's like, 1, 2, 3. And he puts the damn barrel. The guy's laying on the cot. He puts the barrel right across this guy's head like this. Maximum 12 inches from this guy's ear, right? Fires this mug. And I'm telling you, that shit was so loud, it made the lights flicker. And it burned holes into the wall because he didn't have what they call a blank adapter. When you shoot a gun, at the end of the gun, you're supposed to have a blank adapter, right? If you're shooting blanks. It's a box that goes over top of it and clips on so that airflow can come out and it's not pressurized. But it will not allow any non-burnt up firepower, such as, there's no ball or ammo in there. It's gunpowder. So some gunpowder might not fully burn until it's left the barrel. And it might burn on impact of touching something. So that's what we saw on the wall, was the burn pattern of the powder that did not burning into the wall. And I'm telling you what, Key didn't move. Not one time. Not one time did he move. He didn't flinch, nothing. It blew my mind. He went to go rack another one. I said, whoa, stop, bro. You do it again, you might blow his eardrum. I pulled the medical out. He's just the dumb guy that pulls the trigger. I was the guy that dealt with the medical, so I spit some medical knowledge. Thank God my drunk butt said something to him that would actually work, because it did, and his dumb self went and put it up, and we didn't have nobody going to the doctor after that. Now, I wouldn't blame him if when the guy got out of the Army himself, he definitely had hearing loss, because it's definitely Hampton's fault. Hampton's the dude that blew his eardrum, that's for sure. I tell you what, man. It definitely so, man. All right, y'all. I tell you what, I have to tell you one last story, and then I'm going to try to get out of here, y'all. Remember, we're in this crappy world together. Let's get through it together. Have a damn good 420 friendly time while we do it, because that's what life's about, man. You got to have fun in life. You got to enjoy it. If you don't have fun in life, you're just going to be miserable. And sometimes you're going to have these crazy stories just like this, just like me. At the times I was with my friends doing dumb stuff, and sometimes you might end up in handcuffs. But that's life. Pay your bills, do what you got to do, you'll be all right. Now, let me tell you one story real quick before I get out of here about Seabass, okay? Seabass, y'all met him. He was on the stream, right? My boy Sebastian. So Sebastian went and got him a motorcycle, y'all. I can't own a motorcycle. I can't own one because, well, I'll die. I'll kill myself. There's no way you could get me on a crotch rocket and make me want to be on it for any long period of time. One, I've got back problems. 2, I'll kill myself. I'll just go too fast, or somebody's going to pull out and hit me. I'm going to think I'm not going to, it's too much, Well, anyway, so Sebastian got him a motorcycle, right? And he didn't get a license, he didn't get it insured, and he didn't get it registered, right? But he did drive it. So he brings it up to my work one day when I'm working. And he parks it. It's broad daylight. Parks it out front. And we're walking back and forth between outside smoking and inside, so he buys a shot. And he goes back out there and he takes a shot sitting on his motorcycle, right? And I've noticed a couple cops drive by. He has too. He said, well, I'm going to wait a little while. So we walk out there and he sits on his bike, just takes a shot, leans back, and he realizes that the cop's sitting right out there waiting for him, right? Waiting for him to pull out. So he says, look, I'm going to wait for that cop. I said, look, let's just wait for that cop to leave. He said, yeah, I'm going to wait for that cop to leave. So he comes inside the store and we chill. And I told him the cop would leave, but to wait a little bit, because cops ain't dumb, right? He'll sit there long enough, but you got to sit there long enough for him to actually get something else to do, not just wait. So if a cop ain't got nothing to do and he's waiting, they'll let him wait because he's doing something. But if something comes up, he's got to leave. He can't just sit there and wait for no reason, right? He ain't got no proof enough. So the guy leaves, and Sebastian takes off the door. I said, wait. He said, no, I got to get out of here while I can. So he pulls off, and he goes around our building. And when he goes around our building, there was another cop there waiting for him. So he went around real quick, and he waved at me. And when he did, the other cop that left went right by him, and he pulled a Huey and got right behind him, y'all. Pulled his ass over, man. It was absolutely insane that it happened just like that in front of my eyes, man. And they pulled him over, and they said, "Oh, you don't have blah, blah, blah," and they made him park it. And another guy that comes to the liquor store, he was walking up to get a drink. He saw him out there with his bike trying to load it in the truck, and he ended up helping him load it in the truck. Shout out to you, fam. Good job doing your good deed that day. I tell you what, because remember, we are in this crappy world together. Let's get through it together. And give a shout out to Sebastian, because he did get his bike legal, and he did get everything ready, and now he's selling it. Say goodbye to his bike. All right, y'all. Hopefully y'all had a good day listening to my stories and such and my thoughts and my process. Hopefully y'all have a great, wonderful day, and we will see y'all next time when we go live on KSG Adventures and more on YouTube. Y'all check the Facebook out. Y'all check out the Instagram, the TikTok. Just look up KSG Adventures. That is all you need to do, and you will find us. Again, big shout out to my wife. It is our 6-year anniversary, and I love her so much. I will see y'all next time. Later, y'all. Love y'all. Bye-bye.